Good morning. Uh-oh, hold on.
Oh, sorry, that's me. I was
Okay.
on, I was in the wrong room. I was like sitting there like no one was there, but I used an old link, so I don't know if that changed, but I found you on your email. I'm
Yeah,
here.
this link is the same every week, but maybe you used like the mastermind link.
I don't know. I copied it from our previous ones. It's just odd, but I'm here. Yeah.
Okay. Because the mastermind link is always different, and the link to just get me at any time is always a little different. But this one's always the same, like each week, and the mastermind is always the same each week. It's just not the same as this one. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Um, all right, hang on. I gotta find. There it is. So last week we had, there was a small group. There was like three people, I think. So we'll see who shows up today. Um, okay, and I'm struggling with like keeping my Zoom open and opening the presentation. Figure it out, I guess. So how are things going for you?
For who?
You. It's just
Good,
you and
good.
me right now.
Well, everything's going good. I have scheduled today at 10:30 to go over that W-2 contract with Lydia, and
Yeah.
then she's going to
Awesome.
join me on Winexa right afterwards.
Awesome.
And then we'll probably look at maybe doing the onboarding. I would say maybe today or tomorrow, because then that would get her started at the beginning of the month.
Mhm.
And also, I like new university people, they get the 3 months as well while they're in the university, right? You
Like
know,
no
like
tech
the tech
fee. They
fees
get,
and stuff.
yeah, 3 month waive on the tech fee.
Okay. So you want to get her started at the beginning so she's not like wasting time or a month.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
because they do it by like there's no what's called prorating. So if she logged in today or tomorrow, they would count February as 1 month.
Oh, really? So maybe I'll just start her on March 1st on Monday.
Yeah, or you could work on the onboarding tomorrow, but don't have her transfer her license till Monday.
Okay. All right. And I'm going to call um, Chad, is that his name? And just kind of like
Who's
get
Chad?
the onboarding guy, Chase or Chad?
Are you talking about Chris?
Chris, it's with the CH. I'm there. Hey, I'm doing better. I got him in my realm. I'm in the right, like, alphabetical area.
I mean, I'm sure they're all good. I've just known Chris forever, so I have him work with all my people.
No,
And
that's
like
good.
one guy logged in at the beginning of this week and didn't go to Chris. He didn't listen to me. And like
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. And he didn't sign his contract and I don't know who he logged into, so I don't know who to talk to. And
Yeah.
he's MIA. He hasn't talked to me since. He emailed me once and I said, let's talk because I wasn't even fully understanding what he was asking in the email. And like I haven't heard from him. So, I mean, if it's Chris, then also like I can pick up the phone and be like, "Hey, Chris, usually I
Yeah.
log in with them.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was traveling to New York, so I was on an
Yeah.
airplane when he wanted to log in, and he didn't go in with Chris. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well,
So
I
it's
do.
always good, I think, to have relationships. Same thing with the university.
Yeah.
Just so you know. I recommend most of my brand new people to be with Doug. He's local, especially since she's local.
Yeah.
And he's been in the industry also. I've known him since probably my beginning years in the industry. Not as much as Chris. Like I haven't like hung out with Doug, where Chris and I, we spent time outside of work. Uh,
Yeah.
but Doug is he's an
Uh,
excellent coach. Um,
okay.
Brian Pierce has been with him and stayed in, because they can graduate after 6 loans. Brian's probably on like loan 15 and still with Doug because he likes the support he gets. Um,
Yeah.
and Doug is on Zoom 8 hours a day, and some coaches are only on 4. So
Okay.
I always specify I want Doug as the coach. So I would say take some time, like over time, get to know some of the coaches, get to know some of the onboarding people. My favorites might not be your favorite, so you can decide who you like. However, I like to try to cherry pick who my people interact with.
Yeah. So when I got onboarded, I had some random lady, and I think I could have got better onboarding because I was still a
We
little.
didn't have the onboarding team when you onboarded. It was all virtual assistants.
Okay. So yeah, it was just kind of very hodgepodge, and I felt like I still didn't understand everything, but they weren't like experts in the
Yeah, there
business
was
either.
nothing to I mean, with them, it was literally all they did was onboard you. But now, like Chris will go through making sure they understand what all their logins are for in part two. Part
Yeah.
one is just getting them onboarded. There used to never be a part two. It was just get onboarded. And now they also walk them through, go to the NMLS website, share your screen, and they tell them what to click to get Nexa to sponsor them. Okay, it looks like Neil and Sam, you've come on too. Neil,
Okay.
I understand you probably don't want to be on camera, but Arjun and
Yeah. So
Sam, if you guys don't mind, it
I
feels very
will.
odd to me just
Yeah, yeah,
talking to
yeah.
a
Well, you
blank.
know what? I'm almost done. I'm just getting ready for my day. I'm
Okay,
just about done.
okay. And Neil might still be laying in bed. He's in Pacific time, so he's an hour behind.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'll be on. I'll be on. I'll just be
Okay.
just a couple minutes.
I'll be on in a second. I'm just working on my blonde hair here.
Oh, who is that? Is that Todd?
No, it's Sam. Wait till you see his
Yeah.
blonde hair. Okay, Sam, I like last week we started talking about doing events, looking for partnerships, sponsoring together. We were focused a little bit more with realtor events, but you found an event that a financial planner was doing. So, if you don't mind, I would love to hear how that went. What was the audience like? How many people were there? Did you make connections? Do you mind sharing?
I would love to tell you all about it, except it was postponed until Friday, tomorrow.
Okay. Was it
But
postponed because of attendance numbers or something else?
yeah, they had a lack of commitments. But I was notified yesterday that they have 63 people committed for tomorrow.
Wow, that's a huge number.
Yeah, but
Is it?
I did go to an Allstate. Actually, my insurance agent had a morning huddle with 40, I think it was 41 or 42 of their agents, and I was able to speak with them. And guess what? Guess what? I
What?
got a referral.
Nice.
That's
Yeah,
Because
great.
with
yeah.
insurance agents, it's usually the opposite. They're usually looking for referrals from you. They don't often have people to refer. So that's great.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm telling you, it was my blonde hair.
Get on camera and show that blonde hair. Um, so that is awesome, Sam. Kudos to you, it's so exciting. So, and with the financial planner, do you know what audience he's targeting or she?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Do you know the audience that this class is targeted to?
Financial advisors.
Oh, it's all financial advisors.
It's all
Okay.
financial advisors.
Okay, awesome. I have you thought about what angle you want to talk to people about? Because in my experience, financial advisors are great for having conversations about reverse mortgages.
I went to ChatGPT and printed out some stuff, and a lot of the stuff that was given to me was about reverse mortgages. So
Okay, so do you have like something that you can print and leave behind with them? Because I do have a facts versus fiction reverse mortgage flyer that I have created for a lot of people.
see, you and I need to communicate more. If you can email it to me, I'll print them out today.
Have you ever looked at the link that I have given you on how to see all the flyers that I have templates for?
Wait, can you see my blonde hair yet, or no? No, you can't. There you go. No,
No, for a
there
hot
you.
second. There we go. Oh,
There,
are you on a golf course? Oh no, you're in your backyard. At
I'm
first
in my backyard.
I thought your roof was a golf cart roof for a second.
No, no, I'm in my.
I'm gonna message Brittany who helps me with graphics right now and see if she could get in
Let's
and
see.
make it quickly.
How are you, ladies, doing today?
Good, good, good. Trying to get myself set up, my desk. All right, there's my notepad. It's a mess right now.
So have you looked at the link that I gave you for
Yeah, I,
flyers,
I
open houses, things like that?
I have, Alicia. I promise you, I have. I didn't see one. I didn't see one about reverse mortgages, but to be honest with you, I wasn't even looking for. I didn't look for it since this came up, so it's my fault.
Yeah, it's there. There's a whole folder that says reverse mortgage. Um,
Do you ever notice how Thursday mornings is always let's give Sam a hard time? Have you ever noticed that?
are you kidding? I'm giving you gold by giving you this flyer to bring to your event.
So seriously, is it just us this morning?
You, me, Ardra, and Neil, it looks like right now.
Well, that's very nice. Just Ardra and Neil and myself and you. I mean, you know, what do we got to do? Give out donuts or have a potluck lunch here? What do we got to do to get everybody on?
That sounds
The
awesome.
Yeah, the people who really want to build through referrals, come on.
Okay.
Right? Or they feel like they're solid in what they're doing. I mean, we do have some people that don't care about referrals and like doing, online ads or online leads. So referrals aren't for everyone. For me, I would much rather build relationships and get referrals than do online leads. However, we have some people in the downline that are very, very good at online leads. And we have other people who, are Founders Club and doing great with what they're doing, so they don't need more, right? So everybody's at different places. And that's why I put out things that I hope will hit people in different realms, you know what I mean? So that I add some value to everyone no matter where they're at. That's my
Okay.
goal,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Before
Um,
I forget, but before you start getting into this, tomorrow morning for our 9 o'clock call, uh, I may be very late, or I may miss it entirely, only
because you're going to Prescott.
because I'm going to Prescott.
No, it's like biscuit, Prescott,
Okay.
Prescott. The locals call it. They've kind of corrected me a couple times.
Yeah.
Prescott.
Yes. So I will be driving, and the chances of me getting connection are pretty much slim and none. But most likely, I'll have music on, and I'll be karaoke in the car, and singing out loud, and having a good time.
There you
That's
go.
funny. Okay, Ardra, since you're here, and last week we did start talking about how to draw realtors to us, how to get them out of their homes, hardly any are in offices anymore. And
Yeah.
you do run a successful group. I mentioned it last week. However, since you're here this week, do you want to start us off with telling Neil and Sam a little bit about what you're doing, how you started it, and what you do that keeps people coming back?
Okay. It's one of my toughest things to do. I'm telling you, and I commend Alicia for weekly
having her mastermind and having, you know, an agenda. That's kind of hard because, you know, I'm like trained, I'm doing a lot of things. And so that I have to build in. So I have to, so I have that set now every second Friday from 12 to 1:30. And it's like bring your own lunch type of thing. If I am able to successfully get a sponsor to sponsor lunch, then I'll promote that. And that also tends to bring out a few more people. But I like Alicia, I try to leave something of value. And I feel like last year it was more just kind of getting the group going. I reached out to Landmark Title. And so my goal with this in the beginning was, you know, we have the Hispanic Association, you know, we have like the West Valley, all these real estate associations, but there's nothing unique to Native Americans. And it's a really new market altogether. So I really wanted to create a hub where they could kind of get together, network together, maybe help promote each other's business, learn from each other, because there's a wide spectrum of like, you know, brand new to experience in there, and also be the lending expert. So when I talked to Landmark Title, we kind of promoted it as like an exclusive um, kind of meetup, and I call it Native Americans of Real Estate Circle. And I like to say circle because we're all equal in that group. Um, and kind of like the round table thing. So we do kind of put the chairs in a circle. And we kind of talk. So I sometimes will take some of Alicia's videos that inspire me, and I'll share that at the beginning while people are still showing up or coming in, and we'll have a little dialogue. I'll try to also have someone come in to talk. So I've brought in insurance agents. I've brought in, like, I'm actually bringing in my AEs because my AEs are talking about the loan programs that we offer, and they're the ones like partnering with me. And these are
Were you on the mastermind when Joe came to talk about the down payment assistance that he has?
no, no, but I'm talking about all kinds of stuff. So I'm kind of like, at first I was really just focused on HUD 184, the Native American.
Right.
So, but you know, some of these agents, like my son, he really wants to get in the luxury market, and within the last 30 days, Alicia, he's done an amazing amount of.
Nice. Okay, down payment assistance is
So,
going to help him there. But
right,
Joe
but
is
they're all
local,
different.
so we're setting up local classes with realtors.
Yeah, so there's different topics. So as example, he's getting into that. I have another agent's getting really into commercial. So I'm kind of getting into a lot more dynamics of loan products that I'm sharing there. And instead of like having to be stressed about knowing exactly what that product is, I might bring in someone. So I brought someone, Kara from Homelight, and Kara directly talks to Masai when he's sitting at an open house with a question, because ultimately I'm going to be the loan originator on that file. But, you know, we're kind of like working it together.
So is that an AE? Because I thought Kim was the only Nexa AE at Homelight.
Well, Kim referred Kara to me. So
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. They're partners. Kara's actually emailed me. I've never met her.
yeah.
Okay.
So Kara's been really
Yeah.
helpful.
Nice.
And so even like, I mean, so I'm bringing people in to help expand their knowledge. And this year I'm really going to be in the forefront about loan products. Not like I didn't do enough of that last year. This year I will. And I will go more heavy into DPAs and more heavy into VA, because I mean, I heard through one of the networking events that there are not a lot of confident real estate agents and lenders when it comes to VA in the market. So I'm going to start taking classes, and I'm going to get really good at it. And I reached out to Todd because I did that group text with us going out of town, like your name and like what is your like product that you're really good at. And one of the things he came back as VA, and I'm like, okay, because I know I was going to talk to Mike Neal, but that might be hard to grab. So I Todd and I are going to get on a VA call, I mean a Zoom call, and I'm going to learn VA because I really want to be that one kind of promoting it along with the agents. So I'm kind of really trying to promote my business, their business, and kind of we do some social media fun things. You know, we make little reels together at our meeting, and we can kind of blast that, and it gives them some notoriety about, hey, we have this person who's a Native American real estate agent, and so is she. So I feel like it's building, and I just got I challenged all of them to invite a Native American real estate professional to the next meeting. So I got one off TikTok, and I sent her an invite. Yes. And so I want to get these ones now. This year is my year to recruit. And so now I'm focused. I feel like I got last year, I got moved to Nexa. I got my loan originating kind of established where I feel like I have a system. Now I feel like I'm at a point where I can network, and I'm sharing that on my social media. And I got people filling out my career as a mortgage lender at Nexa forum and setting up Zoom calls with me. So, I mean, it's slowly now happening. And I have at least I sent in the recruit, my recruit under LOS. I think I have right now maybe 3 signed up. So I need to add one more, but I'm slowly building that and getting them the flight plan so they know exactly what that looks like in advance. And now I'm attending Brendan's 6 million dollar recruiting thing. Now it makes sense. When I listened before, it was like going through, like, okay, I don't know. But now that I have someone, now I'm like, okay, I think I was the whole web call yesterday. It was like customized to me, which was
Okay,
good.
I'm cracking up in my head because although we do have people making millions annually on revenue share, I don't know that anyone's made 6 million yet. Just
We're
so you
going,
know,
hey, it's just
Brandon
not happening
calls
yet.
it six-figure recruiting.
Yeah, is the $6 million man.
Right. That's what I
So
thought of when you said it. I used to love that show
me too.
when I was a kid.
So now we are. So that's what I'm doing. I structure so the next meeting, I already have a few things lined up. We're going to talk about 1031 exchange. We're going to talk about Masai's like accelerated explosion into his luxury market and what he did to get there and what he's doing different. We're going to talk about I think I was going to talk about Karen's home light, because a lot of people are looking at selling now and buying. So, what does that look like? And then I'm also going to talk about, the most common questions I'm getting on TikTok right now, as regards to mortgage lending and qualifying. So I'm going to talk about that at this meeting. So next one, yeah, go ahead. So
Do
I'm
you
just doing
have
an hour and a half. And,
Do
and,
you
and
have a contact for 1031 exchanges as a
yeah,
qualified individual to hold the funds
yeah, the
outside
title
of
company is going
escrow?
to give us a list of ones that they use,
Okay,
their
so I have known Doug Blackwell for years and years and years. He taught classes for me when I was in title. And he's a good instructor. He's taught his 1031 exchange classes as CE classes to realtors. So if you want a connection, and Doug has an office, I think somewhere around Camelback if he hasn't moved it.
Okay.
He had moved away and he moved back to town maybe 2 years ago or so. He's a great connection if you want to meet him. Just let me know.
Okay. And it would be kind of nice to host a few CE classes, and they primarily and whoever outside. But this year I'm changing
Well,
things. I'm opening
he's
my
not,
doors.
I'm not saying as a C class. I'm saying as a guest speaker to
Yeah.
your event. Yeah.
Absolutely. So like I'm changing things this year. It was exclusively Native Americans all last year, and I felt like it was like that because they wanted comfort. But I have a lot of non-natives that serve as native markets, like in Winslow or Gallup. I don't have a Native American real estate agent, and I feel like I still want them to be part of this group. So I'm kind of breaking some barriers now, some comfort barriers, but I'm expanding it. And I'm actually going to go nationwide because now I want to start recruiting nationwide, and I want to have like a good group of people. So this next one, I'm going to add the Zoom meeting to that. So it's like growing in increments. In the beginning, it was just all in person. And now it's in person and Zoom. I'm expanding more outside of Arizona, trying to get my New Mexico people in that and maybe a little further out. And of course I'm rolling in the Relo and the BDM for other agents in other states. And so little baby steps, but that's kind of where I'm at, and I'm enjoying it. I think it's consistent, and I was going to cancel the in-person one, and they were like, no, 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 we really like coming together and seeing each other. They really enjoy that, the community. And so I feel like, okay, well, we'll keep doing this, because I really felt like at the end, and of course it's during the holidays, everything slows down, but I was a little discouraged with the short amount of people that showed up, and I was like, I don't know, should I just spend my time more wisely and go and do a Zoom, get together? And so no, we decided to kind of like keep the live meeting. So I will continue that for the rest of this year in hopes to keep growing that. And I don't know, I think at that networking women's group that you took us to, and of course I don't know the whole name again, NPW.
NAPMW, National Association of Professional Mortgage Women. There
Okay.
is networking that happens, but it's an educational association.
Yeah, well, what I like about when I went there, what was inspiring is they created that from nothing, and I would like
Mhm.
to create an association for Native Americans.
I mean,
And
every organization started somewhere, right?
yeah,
So
so then I feel like I got a doorstep in, and I probably will join. And Todd mentioned that there is like some big conference in Vancouver, and he says you and Alicia
the
should come up.
national convention
He's
is,
like, you
yeah.
should come up, and we can go check it out together. So that would be fun.
And I think Mike Neal might be going as well. It's
Ooh.
it's I will just say though, don't expect like a huge wow factor. When I first
Not a
started
Nexa Fest.
when I first started NAPMW, it was much bigger than it is today. It almost dissipated completely during COVID. I went to the national convention in New Orleans and there was probably over 300 people there. The last national convention was in Phoenix and I don't even know that we had 50 people attend.
Oh,
So
wow.
I don't know what's going to happen in
Well, the trip
Washington.
in alone would be fun.
Right,
A nice
right.
location.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen in Washington. However, I think if the organization can successfully rebuild, it can always be what it was. However, the one I went to in New Orleans, the board overspent and literally was in the hole. Some
Mm.
dude came in trying to save the organization and said, join like my event. I don't know. It was some crazy contract they signed for him to save our asses, pay our debt. And he took advantage of it. And then we got out of his contract and it was COVID. So as a whole, I don't even know if the organization has 300 people, and we had
Yeah.
that convention.
Well, it
So
was a good networking event locally, for sure. It
well,
was.
yeah, and Washington is the next biggest chapter, and we each have roughly around 60 people in our
Mhm.
chapters.
Well,
Okay, Tess, hang on, hang on.
yeah.
So Sam and Neil, I don't think you were here last week, but Sam, I want to just point out, if you didn't catch it, the first thing Tess was talking about was she went to the title rep.
Mhm.
Remember last week where I was saying, look at who else needs realtors to keep their business alive.
Right.
Title is one, and especially in the Phoenix area. Now, Neil, California works differently. In
Yep.
the Phoenix area, the title reps put on events, classes, all sorts of stuff. Realtors go to title reps for almost anything and everything in the industry. They are
Mm.
going to be one of your best partners to meet realtors. Now, in California, back in the day, it was also like that. However, when RESPA first started really becoming a thing and they were looking at it, California was the first one to block everything. And I remember being in shock when I was starting in title back in 2011, because you guys might not know, I was a title rep before I got on the mortgage side. 2013, I came to the mortgage side when I was getting started in title and I met a friend who was in title in California, she's like, I can't so much as give a realtor a pen. And I was hosting all these lunch and learns and paying for them for our realtors here. So in California, the title reps will still know the realtors, but they can't put any money into it like they do in Arizona. And once that got kiboshed back then, it never really came back. And California is also different, you guys, in a way that in Arizona, title and escrow is kind of all one, Neil. And I know in California, like it's not. You can have a title company and you have your escrow separate. So
Right, but
every
most of
area is a
them,
little different.
yeah, but you still work usually with a company that's a title escrow company because the coordination is just easier.
Yeah, yeah.
Y-
So,
Yeah.
and like in Nebraska, they don't even have title reps. the escrow officers have to go find their own business. And the closers go out, that they have closers at title companies in Nebraska, and they go out and do the networking. So it's a little different everywhere that you are. However, Sam, in Arizona, it is absolutely go, if you want to meet more realtors, connect with a title rep that has influence. It
I
makes
will.
a huge difference. And so R just started with that title rep, right? And like back
Yeah,
in the
I
day,
found a Native American escrow officer.
there you go,
Can
right?
I hop in with a question here?
Yeah.
If for the Arizona people, uh, whenever there's something that's a gathering that you're putting on, even if you can allow someone who can come in and just watch and learn from you guys who have done it. I won't pass out any business cards. I won't do anything to take any business away. Just more as a learning lesson for me. I would be very happy to come and sit and learn if an invitation is ever sent.
Okay, so remind me when I get home and I'm back by my old computer because I don't have it on this Mac, but I have saved in my old computer an outline of how to put on an event, how to invite people, how to find people. It doesn't tell you who to connect with though, but it gives you a
No,
timeline of when to be inviting, where to invite, things like that. I would also say go to an association event. Like, if you've ever been to an event, like nothing's going to be shocking, right? Just go to an event and see it, like what the associations do and things like that. Um,
well,
I,
I
because
was
there's a
thinking,
lot more that goes on behind the scenes than what you see at the event.
right. Well, I was thinking that if I happen to know an MLO who specializes in Native American Indians who may need an assistant, who can sit in the background and learn from her a little bit. If I knew someone like
You're
that,
absolutely, if you want to fly down to Phoenix, you're welcome to
No,
come.
he lives in
I
Scottsdale.
live in
Yeah.
Scottsdale.
Okay. Well, I'll just say I will just add you, and you're welcome to join. And I have Maria come join. She's another LO, but she's there. And sometimes it's kind of nice because she might talk about a product that I don't have any knowledge about, but she's not about taking my business, but she loves hanging out and coming to my groups. So you're welcome.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, and you have my absolutely 100% commitment. I will not try to take any business. It's more of just for me to learn. So
Absolutely.
to learn from you, honestly.
Sure, sure, that'd be fine. And you can jump on a TikTok live anytime.
Yeah, well, in order to jump on a TikTok, I got to get TikTok first.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but what you see, Sam, at the event is kind of the end result of a lot of what it took to get to the event.
Right.
So, being at the event you might learn a little bit, and you're going to learn whatever they're teaching and talking about at the event, but
Yeah.
it's not going to necessarily teach you ever, like she said, like the planning and the organizing and the inviting and the making the relationship with the title rep and finding the Native American escrow officer. Like,
Mm.
this has been years of her coming, having ideas and thoughts. And then even when it's not years, I mean, you could have the idea in, I'd say, give or take 1 to 2 months to get to putting on an event of any decent size.
And like Alicia, she's got a really large downline, but how many people show up for some of the masterminds and also for this Thursday? It's kind of the same way. It's like for me, it's not getting discouraged, or if for me, it's not getting frustrated, because I have a very low tolerance, and I'm a lot like, I don't know if I would say I'm a lot like Alicia. I couldn't say that, but we're kind of very
In some
what we
ways,
expect. Yeah, we have expectations. We want people to step up. We want people to level up. We want people to participate. We want people to be excited about their own personal growth. But when you send it all and I got like maybe 30 people on my list of Native Americans, and I invite them, and maybe consistently 5 of them show up every time, so I'm just going to focus on the 5, and I have to just kind of
Yes.
leave it at that,
Yeah.
and not
That's
think
the
about the
key.
rest of the people. And even if one person shows up, I'm still going to do my one thing for that one person regardless. And so it's just not like getting discouraged when you don't have that, and that will happen over time, but it
Right.
doesn't happen like right away. So you have to kind of like, you almost like have to push through the mud, and just keep not giving up. And you got all that resistance coming with you. If you can just let that not be, then, and just focus on the actions that you have to do to get where you're going, it'll happen eventually. So
So
yeah.
the
Okay.
key, like she said, right, is those that will, right, are the ones that will show up. Some will, some won't. So what? Focus on those that will and build with that. It's quality over quantity, because the quality people that are meant to be in your life come. And, like I'll do a lunch and learn, and I have 5,000 realtors in my database that get my emails, my texts, whatever. And if 15 show up, I'm happy, right? But that's a blast. It's also different when it's a phone call, an individual text, a hey, will you come? One
Right.
in four of actual conversation show up as the numbers I've seen over the years. I've had phases where I get half, 1 in 2. Great. 1 in 4 will come. But then also, even when you have the list of those that say yes, and the day before, and you confirm the day before, half of them may still drop off. Like life happens, and it's about not getting frustrated and just knowing your numbers and knowing
Yeah.
it's okay. And
Yeah.
like she said, about like this meeting and Friday's meeting, I think, if I look in LO support right now, well, okay, they're not all in my email database, because the email and LO support doesn't line up if people don't tell me they recruited someone. However, I think I have 99 people that get the mass email you guys get for these things. And out of 99, there's 4 of us right now. And Deb is note taker because, she said she's not able to show. She asked if her note taker could be on. And who knows if she ever even reads the notes,
Yeah.
Well, no, if now that I'm talking about it, she might be like, hey, I read the note. However, I'm 99% of people that put a note taker in a Zoom that don't show up don't read the notes either. So
Yeah.
some will, some won't. So what? Don't take it personally. And that's the key, is work with those that want to work with you, that you also want to work with, and go deep with those people so that the business grows huge and you enjoy it. So
So like
it's
right now, I have a few realtors that like, oh, I got a call from First Tribal Lending. This like loan officer contacted me to work with me. And this is in a networking group. I'm like the exclusive lender there. But you know what? I know that I'm good at what I do. I do provide professional service. I'm good at communicating, and I'm good at closing. I have a good pull-through ratio from close to to funding. So I'm like, okay, go ahead, try some of those other people. I
Good for
still am
you.
good. And they'll come back, but I just try not to be like Miranda Priestley, because sometimes I feel like I want to be like that.
Who's Miranda Priestley? On
She's
with their head
yeah,
from
like Miranda
Alice in
Priestley.
Wonderland.
No, well, her too. But sometimes I get so like, I'm all or nothing, really, in real life. I'm all or nothing. I've always been like that. But where I have to practice being okay with them, because they're growing. This is their first real year in lending, and I'm sure they don't want to think that I'm the everything and the all. So they're trying other lenders. So I just have to be okay with that, and eventually I have to believe they will come back to me, or they might find value somewhere and just not come back to the group. But that's okay, because I'm always growing too. But yeah, so sometimes it challenges me because I have like little patience, and I feel like it's like I'm being cheated on, and it's just like, oh, God, so I have to just kind of be patient with that too. There's a lot of dynamics on the inside that goes on as well when you're dealing with people.
Yes, we are in more than anything a people business, and it's learning about people versus just thinking you're in the mortgage business. Everything you're doing is not about mortgages. It is even more than the mortgages about the people. Now you got to know your products, you got to know your guidelines, you got to know your stuff. Don't get me wrong. However, if you don't know how to deal with the people, it doesn't matter how much you know about the products because the
Mm.
people is the business, right? Like you're closing people to work with you. So you are your product just as much as the mortgages,
Yeah.
right? So you're getting them to work with you. The people, it's a people business. It really is. Otherwise, when people are all worried about AI taking over, I don't think AI will ever completely take over lending, but they may take over marketing. They may take over, making your job easier, whatever. You got to know and use the AI. However, they will never 100% take because people choose to work with people, not robots.
It's funny that you mentioned that. Uh, since I started, one of the realtors that I met that I went to go see at Realty Executives, her husband passed away, and I found out about it, and I sent some flowers to the office, and she reached out to me and thanked me, and she she thought it was about business, and she made a comment about business, and I said this has nothing. I didn't talk about mortgages, I didn't even want to go there. I said this is, and Alicia, you know me with the religious background, said this is strictly about being a good person, reaching out to somebody, and sending my condolences, and if you need to talk, if you need anything, if you need some one-on-one counseling, we can do it at my church, where I do it 3 times a week. You're more than welcome to come, and all that. And she appreciated that. And if it turns out in the future for business, great. But it doesn't mean that we can't be human beings and show love and
Right?
respect and some dignity. So
Yeah. It is. It is about relationships
it's
when you want sustainability. And that goes back to even like the title of my book, Love Your Business, Love Your Life, right? Like work with people that you're going to enjoy working with, that you're going to like, that you're going to respect. And when you get referrals from them and you get to keep working with them, it makes business more fun,
yeah,
right? So, yeah. Tessa,
Yeah.
something you want to
Yeah.
say?
So that's exactly why I do what I do. And I'm a mortgage lender because I get to choose every aspect of my reality and what I'm manifesting in my life, down to my business hours, down to what people I want to service. And even within those people, who do I really want to work with? Because I
yeah,
listen to people, and if I hear excuses, I really don't like to work with people who have excuses. I like people who own it. Like, okay, I messed up and I need to start over. Can you help me figure out how to do this? Oh, I'd love to help you. But when it's all about everybody else and my so and so did this and I had to do this, it's like, come on now, you're just a victim in your life. So I don't work with victims.
yeah,
I like filter them out at the very beginning. And then I filter them out by commitment. Are they paying for the credit report up front? Because that's needed along with the application. My review of your application and credit is there's no charge. I don't get compensated until you close on your loan. However, I do require you to pay for the credit report up front. So if they're really serious about moving forward, they're going to do that. If they're
Do
just
it.
wasting my time, they're just going to waste somebody else's time. And I'm
Yeah.
yeah,
okay with that. So sometimes it's really kind of like getting a clearer path, like, and getting rid of all this junk because there's
yeah.
so much junk. Like I've had, okay, so I went from 3,000 to almost 7,000 followers in about a week and a half on TikTok. And that's a lot of comments and messages. I'm interested, I want more info. So you know what? I created an interested type of thing. I just gave them the steps on how to apply. If
Right.
they're
Yeah.
that interested, they're going to take that next step, and I saw quite a few of them say, okay, I'll get started. And then some of them, don't, they want a consultation. They want to talk more. So then I have to really figure out how much, okay, I'll give you 15 minutes, but if you want to like really go into a deep consultation, then I need you to start with a soft credit. Then we have something to talk about, you know? So now with the amount of flow of interest I'm getting, I have to really get rid of all the time killers. And so I have to kind of revamp how I filter that. And it's really reduced a lot of like phone calls in the last week, but that's going to leave me time now to follow up on the ones that did say they're going to do an application. And I have now the ability to start calling back my people where for a moment there, I almost didn't. And I was running about a week behind on my callbacks and follow-ups. So I don't know. It's just kind of, it's like being a traffic director.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to be okay with loss, because if I was the type of person, and I've had to learn this, where I'm so afraid of losing a lead that I will time kill all my day talking to the wrong people that are not moving forward. And so that's where I've had to like really trust myself here and say, okay, now I'm going to have to do this and filter out from this group just the ones that really are serious about moving forward. So it's been an interesting thing. And even right now I'm a little feeling kind of squiggly about it, but I'm going to stay firm.
So, yeah, I mean, you have to have a mindset of abundance. There's always going to be enough business out there, and the right business is going to come to you.
Mhm.
If you have a fear-based mentality, people feel it, and that actually drives people away rather than attracting people. And
Mhm.
and I do have slides in here where we're going to talk about personality styles and not only knowing your own, learning how to read others. And again, this is a people business, and people decide that they want to work with you for who you are. Like we talked a little bit about this, I think, last week, Sam. Like they're not going to work with you because you're at Nexa. Like Nexa might be a little bonus because, yeah, I got more products or, I have more options or whatever. However, they really want to work with you because of who you are. So you want to learn to be a people magnet versus a people repeller, right? Because if you can attract people to you, the right people will come. In the email yesterday, I said I wanted to start a little bit today also about let's talk about and it goes along with this, like not just personality, but a little bit of like behavior and behavioral characteristics while at networking events. I want to go into what works and what doesn't when you're out networking. And we've talked about going to networking events, where to find the right referral partners. And now we've talked about how to attract referral partners to you. However, when you're in that room with people, we could have the perfect plan and get in a room with people, whether we brought them there or whether we went to somebody else's event, and either walk away with a lot or walk away with nothing. And I want to talk about what can make that difference. And it's just like when people are dealing with online leads. Like I have heard from people where they're like, oh, this is the best lead generation. I'm getting great leads, blah, blah, blah. And other people, same lead gen company, like these leads suck. This is shit. Like I literally from literally my life, I had a realtor who, brand new realtor, started working in the industry, but came from another type of sales background and started buying leads. And back then it was Zillow and Realtor.com leads, those two. And he picked specific zip codes. And within a year, he turned those leads into a six-figure income as a realtor. And he did it for about 2.5 years and got a sweet deal he thought he could not refuse to go back to his old industry. He did not want to give up his real estate license. However, they told him, if you're coming back, you cannot do real estate anymore. So he had to be like the second agent on a deal where the deal was not in his name, but he still wanted to get paid and keep his leads, and he didn't want to give up his zip code. So he asked me to help connect him with another realtor that can work his leads, that will pay him a split for the leads being his, and he would be the second on the deal. Well, I found, and this goes back to, you've maybe heard the saying, everywhere you go, there you are. there's a realtor I knew who was a really sweet guy who was struggling, who couldn't get his business, really off the ground. And I thought, well, these leads worked great for this guy, so maybe they could work together. And this other guy struggling can now start working these leads. I connected them. Well, remember, one guy went to six-figure income within his first year as a realtor because of these leads. The other guy starts getting the leads, and what happens? These leads are shit. These leads are crap. He couldn't close anything. I think he closed one deal from them. What was the only factor difference? The person receiving the leads and converting the leads. It wasn't the leads. It wasn't the lead company. It wasn't the zip code. It was who's getting the leads. So sometimes I hear all the time too when I put out networking events. And I'm like, here, you might want to go to this event. Here's this event. Now, Neil, you don't get those from me because I don't know your area and I don't know what's going on in your area. I don't get those. However, for the people in the Phoenix area, because I've been networking in the real estate industry for, umpteen years, since 2008-ish, I think, I get emails, I get Facebook things, I get Eventbrite, whatever, and I forward them to the downline. And I'm like, here's an event. You might want to go meet people. And I will get replies going, is this event going to be worth my time? Well, I don't know. How well are you going to use your time? What are you going to make of the event? Because an event is as good as you make it to be, right? So, and like Ardra said earlier, there might only be 5 people there, but those could be 5 of the right people, or maybe 4 of the 5 people are the right people. So, what are you going to make of the event? It's not about how many, it's about the quality of what you do with it. So, we could talk about and what works and what doesn't work. So, when going to events, let's start with, because I'm sure everybody here has been to an event in your lifetime that is business related. What is your biggest challenge when you go to an event? For some people, it's I'm shy, I'm introverted, I don't know who to talk to, whatever. All right, Ardra, go ahead. What's your biggest challenge?
I think if it's at the end of the day and my brain is just fried from work and disconnecting and getting into a different mindset where I want to engage with people, I have a hard time with that transition sometimes. And you'll probably even notice because I can be really social or I can be completely to myself. And I find out when I'm exhausted, I just don't really have the ability to engage with people as well as I'd like to.
Okay. So we
Or
could
even making the effort to go up and introduce myself. Sometimes even that is not there.
So, what I would say, and you guys everybody's going to be a little bit different, right? For me, in that circumstance, the way I think of it is, and we're lucky, I think it's lucky. Some people don't, but we get to work from home. So usually we're going from our home environment out to the event where, some other people that don't get to work from home, they're maybe going from their work environment surrounded by a lot of people to going to the calm of home. And we're doing the opposite. We're going from our calm of home, maybe being totally alone, to, the people. And that's a shift, right? It's a shift of energy. It's a shift of mindset. And I have been to some personal growth classes where this made a lot of sense to me, and this was presented in 2 different classes that I went to that dealt with relationships. And they talked about how to shift on your drive home from your work environment so that when you get home with your partner, spouse, family, you can now be the family person and not be in the work mindset, right? It's a similar kind of a thing. So, music can help on the drive. Energy, put on music that's going to put you in a higher energy, a higher vibration. Because when you're going to a networking event, you want to be in a high vibration. And for me personally, because I tend to run on a high vibration, even sometimes when I'm alone, like the Zooms, it brings up my energy, right? Because I'm a people person. Like I like my alone time as well, don't get me wrong. However, being around people raises my energy. Sometimes I need to get calmer because my high energy can scare some people. So I might know, okay, I'm a little bit tired from the day. I need to raise my energy, however, not too much where I'm going to run people off, right? So I'll do music in the car that shifts the energy. But then when I get there, I will do literally for me, it doesn't take a lot of time. Some people need more, but a 2 minute silent meditation where I shut my car, I shut the music, I sit in silence, I close my eyes or I stare at one thing in my car, and I set an alarm for about 2 minutes to just clear my head of all thoughts. So, whatever it is, it's been stressing me out during the day, whatever files, whatever, for me, recruits, whatever, I want that gone. I do not want to walk into that door distracted. Music on the way, 2 minute calm. And then when I walk through the door of the event, I imagine it almost like a shower. And it's showering and brainwashing me for the energy and clarity I need when I walk in the door. So it's a little visualization game that I make up with myself that the shower washes off the stress of the outside and it doesn't come back on me till I walk back out the door. If I want it back when I walk out, I can imagine it coming back on my shoulders. However, if I want it gone, it clears it as I walk in. That's just me and what I have done for that, which is a little bit different than where I thought we were going to go with this. However, that's perfect, whatever works. And
Mhm.
hopefully that's a little bit helpful. Does anybody else have a routine or a method of what you do to shift your energy going into an event?
For myself personally, I always start, I mean, whatever, and you guys may think this is weird, but it's something I've been doing
Are you
for,
kidding? What I just said was weird to some people, I'm sure. It's a little
uh,
woo-woo.
uh, but ever since, I was a child and growing up, and when I left home, uh, faith has always been something that's very, very important to me. And as I get older, it gets more important. So literally now, when I get into a car and when I get out of my car, I'll either do a very short prayer just in my mind, real quick. And if I'm going someplace to meet with people, a short prayer. And in between the prayers, before I pray I'm a music person. I love music. Music is my stress relief with prayers and with faith. People smoke, people drink. I don't do either one of them. Socially, I mean, I drink once in a while, but I don't do either one of them. For me, my release is music and prayer, and uh, you know, it's since I came to Nexa and since I started with Alicia and with this, you know, there's been, I'm sitting. Uh, I have faith and that my hard work, my dedication, my persistence is going to generate some income, hopefully sometime in 2026. It would be nice.
You
Uh,
just got a referral. Are you kidding?
well, it doesn't mean it's going to go through yet, but
Mhm.
uh, see, you just ruined a perfect, beautiful moment, Alicia. So for me, it's music and faith, and I love to socialize. When I was in the banking industry, just like now, when I first started, I struggled, and I one day I came home and I went to church, and at church they have the our priest has developed something that he calls cigars and whiskey, a social gathering once a month. And I don't smoke and I don't drink when I'm in the church. Uh, so it hit me. Stop trying. I literally just stopped trying to do things and just became a gardener and plant seeds and let it grow. And eventually I went from not being able to do a damn thing in the banking world to being the number one banker in my district's credit cards, loans, and
Mhm.
all. And I wish I can tell you that it was all because I studied and I trained. The training had nothing to do with it. It was honestly my faith, trusting my faith, and just talking and being natural.
So
You know,
there's a famous saying of people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care.
yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
And
Yeah.
and some people will say that's one of my biggest faults. To me, I consider that one of my biggest blessings. So
Well, and if you're trying too hard to get the business, you can give off an energy of desperation,
yeah,
and nobody wants desperate.
yeah,
People want confidence. And if
yeah,
you're just showing you care, it's a little bit more of an air of confidence. Even
yeah,
if you're not confident in the product, you're confident in you. So
yeah,
again, back to it's a people business,
yeah,
not so much mortgages, right? If you
right,
want
yeah,
referrals, anyways.
yeah.
Okay, we have 1 minute left. Neil, you have been quiet the whole time. Do you have anything you want to say or share in the last minute?
That's what I mean. I'm kind of on one speed. I can be at a sporting event or I can be at a social gathering, and there's no change. And I could be in my car listening to Led Zeppelin, or I could be in my car listening to Jim Croce. I come out and I'm
I have
just
no idea who Jim Croce is. Is it
Are
Mellow?
you
bad Leroy
serious?
Brown.
Huh?
Are you
Bad Leroy Brown.
Oh, okay. I do know. I do know.
Alicia?
I
Alicia,
know. I
I'm
know.
disappointed.
I didn't know
Well,
the name, but I know the
she's
song.
Sam. She's too young.
I
I am
mean,
not. I know the song. I just didn't know his
Neil,
name. And I
Neil,
love
this
Led Zeppelin.
uh, Neil, this young generation, I don't know what the hell we're gonna do with them.
I don't know.
Whatever.
So, anyways, it's not so much. I can go into an event. Yeah, I'm a little awkward at first, like we all are till we warm up. But my challenge is finding how does Rodney Dangerfield say is it the best? I appeal to everybody who can do me absolutely no good. And
Mm.
I walk up to people and oh yeah, not and I'm able to talk to them. I immediately give out my card. So this is what I do. If you have any questions, let me know. And then I kind of try to fiddle with the conversation so it's not just work oriented. What do you do? Where you live? Kind of find pick their brains a little bit. Kids and all that stuff. But that the challenge is choosing the right people to go up to. It's am I going up to the what I find, let's say, attractive people that I find attractive I want to talk to, or am I going to go up to the people that they're in their suits and they got the slick back hair and like I really I'm not going to say I detest them, but I really don't want to meet them
Then
because
don't meet them. So
Don't
we
beat
will
them.
start with this next week. You might have some small tweaks that can make a huge difference. And we're going to talk next week about actually what you just said is right away I give out my card. That is actually, I think I have a whole slide on that. So let's talk. Hold on, Tess,
I
because
know.
it's
I'm like, I got something to share.
hold on, hold on. So I want to start with this next week of when you get there, how to decide who you want to talk to, and how to start conversations. And when you decide you no longer want to talk to them, how
I
to
don't know if I
get
can
away
be
without being
patient.
rude. What'd you say?
I don't know if I can be patient. Wait a week to say something.
Oh my God. Say it fast
I,
though. Say
I
it
like, I
fast because
like,
we're over time and I promised only an
Okay,
hour
real
for this
fast. I
week.
would ask the person hosting, whoever's co-hosting, like what kind of partner you're looking for. Someone that's looking to do this type of loan if you're like an investor or if you're doing VA loans. Just kind of connect me with someone who you think might be interested in this or share in common. And then you might be able to like get in there and at least talk to a warm introduction right away.
I think these are more open network events. It's like you go there and one week you'll have 25 people, next week there'll be 8 people, and they're all different. So
There's
Those are
usually
the
an
kind I
Alicia there.
like the most because I
There's
get to go
usually
meet
an Alicia
people.
there that knows everybody. That's kind of like ahead of hosting it.
now she's a
You need to
social
connect
butterfly.
with.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. So
that's who you're looking for.
yeah, and what she hit the nail on the head with is asking someone to introduce you to someone. Now, they might not know loan product or whatever. However, you can just say, hey, I'm looking to meet XYZ. Who do you know here that may fit that description? And if you can get a warm introduction, it does make life a lot easier.
That's a good plan. Yeah.
We will talk more about that next week too. So I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you staying 3 minutes over. I will see you next week. I'm excited to start next week because this is like a perfect segue. And of
Not
course,
the first-
Ardra's first to log off.
Not the first thing next week. Remember, I get in. It takes about 15 minutes to get in.
Get your butt up. Get some coffee.
All right.
Preset your coffee pot the night before so you smell the
Banana.
coffee when you wake up.
It's too hard, man. 7:45 is hard to get up.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great week or great night if I see you tomorrow on Mastermind.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.